liberty, justice for all.
Is it broadcasting, Jay? Doreen
Yep.
messaged me that it wasn't on TV.
It isn't, it is now, yeah, it's on.
Okay,
It looks like it's on.
okay.
Is that that's the screen that shows what we're doing, right?
Yep, we're broadcasting. We weren't in the very beginning, we are now.
Okay.
Roll call?
Jeff Renahan, First Ward.
Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Michael Safone, Fourth Ward.
Stefan Krakauer, Fifth Ward.
Ann Truciad, Sixth Ward.
Alicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson, attorney for the town.
John Baisley, I'm Town Supervisor. Good evening, welcome everybody. We have a rather short agenda tonight with no public hearings. Number one on the agenda is consent for lead agency, the Raymond Avenue project. Number two, award the bids for the 55 and Route 9 medians. Three, authorize the supervisor to sign addendum to the Poughkeepsie Water Sale and Purchase Agreement for Joint Water Board. 4, authorize the Stop DWI Dutchess County Agreement. 5, authorize the supervisor to sign sidewalk maintenance agreement, Real Estate LLC, LaGrange Avenue. 6, authorize tax cert settlement, Mark and Kim Bettini. 7, tax cert settlement with Sears and Roebuck. 8, claim and suit for legal, Markshire versus the town, Glenn versus the town. 9, appoint Vanderwater for Glenn versus the town. Number 10, Eastdale Spring Pop-Up Event. We have one special consent for secured undertaking for restoration of Mazda Route 9 project for some tree removal. That's all I have as far as that goes. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any item on the agenda.
Second.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Is there anybody that would like to discuss any item on the agenda?
Doreen?
Yes, okay. Jake, can you tell me what the difference is on agenda item number 3 for the water sale for Amazon and East Fishkill? How is that different than the one you approved, the board approved on February 17th?
I think this is just the fact that the water board had to approve it. We approved the town sale for the storage of water up at the tank. That was just the town only. This is the joint water board sale, which we have to also approve to actually sell them the 27,000 gallons of water.
Okay, so the other one was for storage and this is for the actual sale of the water.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And my other comment on agenda item SC1 about the cutting of trees at the Mazda dealership. Now, again, you know that many years ago, there was a law put in place not to allow tree cutting until the final site plan was signed. And that was to avoid somebody coming in and cutting trees and then just moving on. So I do see here that that there is going to be a bond in the amount of $49,500 if the applicant doesn't do what they're supposed to do.
Correct. Mike Welty worked with them on
Yeah.
that, yes.
I question whether that amount is enough, because if they don't do what they're supposed to do, it says that the town would do the clearing, well, it says dispose of felled trees, stabilize, restore soil, raking, seeding, mulching, and installing erosion and sediment control. And then, if necessary, they'll also do tree planting. So I don't know if any of you have had any tree work done recently. Just to have some limbs trimmed around our house, we have an estimate for like thousands of dollars. So I question whether that's even enough.
Yeah, Doreen, Mike
But
looked in it pretty well. I don't know if you've been out to that site. It was a mobile home park before, and a good portion of that site is pretty barren, all except for a section in the middle, and there's not many, I'm not gonna say no, not many large trees. What out there is pretty small in one section, so I agree that if it was a huge field with a lot, I don't see that there's a lot there. And I know Mike worked on this, and I have faith that he did his due diligence and went out there, because I was out there the other day, and I don't see where there's a ton of trees, and the restoration shouldn't be that that difficulty. But Doreen, thanks as always for keeping the heads up on us and keeping us on our toes on that.
Right. Okay, and there's only one other thing about that. So, in number 2 under the now therefore, because the whole thing is that there's Indiana bat habitat potentially on the site. And so there's certain times when you can cut trees because basically you're affecting their habitat. So you're really supposed to have that done by March 31st. So it says here, that the owner has to timely undertake and properly complete the proposed tree felling by March 31st, 2021, or as thereafter permitted by the Director of Municipal Development. Well, it shouldn't be happening after March 31st, 2021. So I guess my concern is with the, or thereafter. So
If I
just,
might,
Jim?
may I? Ms. Tignanelli, the reason that language was put in there was in no way to suggest that any cutting could be done during the prohibited times, but there might be a circumstance where this work could be rolled ahead to the next window for tree cutting. And I just wanted to make sure I put that in, that Mike had all the authority that he needed, but it never was intended. I don't think that the town, or Mike, anybody would try and trump the DEC rules about those bats. That
okay, so
never was intended.
Okay, thank you for explaining that. I just want to make sure that everybody, was on board with the fact that you can only cut the trees from October 1st to March 31st, so.
Yep.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
Doreen. Anybody else?
So we're not allowing any tree cutting after the date?
No, you can't because it's bat
Can't.
season, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
just as long as
Yep.
it's
But I
clear.
think what Jim was saying, I don't know exactly when the season ends, but if he wanted to go forth when that was over with, he still has the okay to
Right.
do that.
The idea was to give the development director the maximum authority that he could have to make time changes, but never, and I know that Mike would never try and do this, to violate a DEC rule.
No.
Okay,
A motion to resume the rules?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Mr. Renahan?
Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to the town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board acting as secret lead agency. Notice of intent paperwork in its entirety can be found in the town clerk's office for the project known as Raymond Avenue School Property Redevelopment, amended site plan and subdivision, location of which can be found on a planning department memo attached hereto dated March 1st, 2021. So moved.
second,
Got a motion, a second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Aye.
6-0. Mr. Carlos?
Resolution number 2. Whereas quotes were sought for Route 55 and Route 9 medians, maintenance, and whereas Daly's Lawn and Landscape was the lowest proposer at a total cost of $31,200. Now be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute a contract for such work at said price to Daly's Lawn and Landscape upon receipt of proof of the required insurance coverages and permits. Be it further resolved that the town board does hereby determine that this is a type 2 action requiring no environmental review. So moved.
Second?
Second.
We got a motion, a second. Any questions on this one?
Do we know what this cost us last year? I think it was a little more, wasn't it? Is this coming down?
No, this is actually first of all for 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little cheaper than last year, but not by a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I remember it being a little higher.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're just hoping that, last year we had a stumbling block with, one of the landscapers being able to get the insurance, because it got so high to get the permit for the state. So we reached out to him and he thinks it's all right. I said, let us know right away. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved, the town board, town of Poughkeepsie is hereby authorized the supervisor to endorse the town's consent to the execution of addendum number 6 to the Poughkeepsie Water Sale and Purchase Agreement between the Poughkeepsie Joint Water Board and the Dutchess County Water and Wastewater Authority to allow for water sale to USEF Taronda LLC. And be it further resolved that this agreement represents part of the ongoing administration of the town of Poughkeepsie's affairs with no change which would create substantial adverse environmental impact.
and is a type 2 action requiring no secret review. So moved.
Second.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Stefan?
Oops. Andy, can you grab this one? I just got to pull up my packet for Felicia.
Yep. Let me spiral up one. Just hang on.
All right.
Stefan, are you signed in twice? There you go.
Yep. Okay. Resolution 4. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to sign the 2021 Stop DWI Program Amendment and Extension Agreement, overtime DWI patrols with Dutchess County, a copy of which is attached. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie is hereby authorized the supervisor to sign a sidewalk maintenance agreement with INP Real Estate LLC and any supporting recording documents in regard to 44 LaGrange Avenue project and substantially the form attached. And be it further resolved that such acceptance and authorization by the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie is subject to the approval of all final documents by the town attorney, planning board attorney, town engineer, and director of municipal development for the town of Poughkeepsie. So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
All right, I got it. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the settlement of the tax certiorari proceeding instituted by Mark and Kimberly Bottini for property located at 19 Reed Road, 1346889-6057-07-614989 for the 2019 and 2020 tax assessment roll as shown on the attached consent judgment. And be it further resolved, that the town board of town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor or his designee, town assessor Jennifer Mund and Kyle Barnett of Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP to sign such papers as are necessary to effectuate the settlement. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion is second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the settlement of the tax certiorari proceeding instituted by Sears Roebuck and Company for property located at Poughkeepsie Galleria, 2001 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. Property code 6159-03-219-298-0000 for the 2020 tax assessment roll as shown on the attached consent judgment. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor or his designee, town assessor Jennifer Mund and Kyle Barnett of Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP to sign such papers as necessary to effectuate the said settlement. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion is second. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Just so everybody knows, these are two that we've settled, but there's multiples that we see every year that they've gone, and Jennifer and Kyle have worked on them, that they've just canceled them out. We got 4 last week alone, so it's not that whoever files ends up getting. We had 4 in the last week that we've settled, no change, and they've walked away, which is a good thing.
Okay. Item number 8, notification. The following claim suit has been referred to legal. 1, Markser versus Town. Number 2, Glenn versus Town.
Number 9, be it resolved, town board, town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Vanderwater and Vanderwater LLP as attorneys to the town at the hourly rate of $195 for partners, $175 for associates, and $90 for paralegals to represent the town in the proceedings known as Arthur Glenn, Jesse Fuentes, and Brooke Fuentes versus the town of Poughkeepsie et al. So moved.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion is second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Whereas the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application submitted by Shelby Adrian to hold an event called Spring Pop-Up located at Cottage Square, 44 Eastdale Avenue North, Poughkeepsie, New York, on Saturday, April 3rd, 2021, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And whereas the presence of food vendors is a vital part of a successful event, now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does not include the vendors of food participating in this spring pop-up as peddlers and hawkers, and These vendors are thereby exempt from the provisions of Chapter 151 of the Town Code. And be it further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for said event to be held on Saturday, April 3rd, 2021. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. 6-0. Ann?
Let me go.
But I thought 10 was the last one.
No, there's just one
There's
special
SC,
consent.
Dan, there's one SC.
I'm sorry, I don't have my.
I got it.
I got it.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby grant special consent to the following items, to wit: 1, authorize secured undertaking for restoration Mazda Route 9 project. And be it further resolved that upon the objection of any member of the Town Board, an item may be removed from the list and voted on separately. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Now, let me read it.
I got it. Whereas Anthony Road Associates LLC has received site plan and special use permit approvals for the expansion of the existing Mazda Route 9 motor vehicle sales and service facility, seeks further planning board approval to fell trees on the project site on and before March 31st, 2021, which tree felling permit requires the execution of a secured undertaking and the posting of a collateral security therefore. And whereas the town board has received a bonding estimate from the town engineer, now therefore be it resolved, the supervisor and the director of municipal development are authorized to receive the annexed secured undertaking for restoration in substantially the form annexed and the collateral security required thereunder. On behalf of the town of Poughkeepsie, so moved.
Second.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. That brings us to the end of our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any item.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Does anybody have, Doreen?
Hi, Jay, thank you. So I have a question about the pilot projects that come before the Dutchess County Industrial Development Agency and how the town board agrees to support of a project. And I'm asking because at the March 19th meeting coming up for the IDA, there is a project requesting preliminary approval for sales tax exemption, mortgage tax exemption, a payment in lieu of taxes. And their resolutions always say that, you know, that they have to show that there is satisfactory support from the town of Poughkeepsie, you know, if it's in the town, whichever town it's in. In this case, it is the town of Poughkeepsie. So is the town board involved in this? How do they go about determining that there is satisfactory support from the town? So Jay, can you or somebody explain that?
Doreen, we have a pilot of that nature. We passed a resolution, and the one you're referring to, I just received on Monday. So the town board has not looked at it, so they will not be getting a letter of support because it has not been passed at the town board at this time. I mean, it's something the board still has to discuss. But if anything like that or a expanded pilot, there has to be an agreement that comes from this board. The county can pass a regular pilot, but if go to anything that, I'm using the word extended, I don't know if I'm correct on that, but if they go for any extended pilot, you have to have town board approval or a letter from the town board, and we do not send letters to them unless there's town board approval, because I do not have the authority to send a letter stating that we have support unless we truly have support from the town board.
Okay, I didn't think that I missed that, but you know, there is an occasional meeting I don't go to, so and I'm quoting from the resolution. It says that the financial assistance is subject to, quote, the agency's determination that there is satisfactory support from the town of Poughkeepsie and the Arlington School District for the project. So
Doreen,
but you're saying that
the furthest they would get from us was if I went on there and said, you know, this is a project that looks good and we're looking into it. That's not a, you know, a commitment. A commitment would be a letter from us stating that we're committed with a copy of our resolution.
okay, so the normal process is they would get a letter from you.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
And again, you know, there's just so many of these projects that are seeking pilots or sales tax and mortgage tax exemptions. And you know what my position is on that. I think that everybody should be paying their fair share of taxes and not looking to the rest of the taxpayers to subsidize them. But all right, thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Doreen. Anybody have anything else? If not, Jim, you have, Bill's got it?
Bill has
A resolution, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adjourn to executive session to consider the following: discussions regarding proposed pending or current litigation, Rettle Towing, to discuss matters which are exempt under the open meetings law, including matters subject to attorney-client privilege. And be it further resolved that no action appropriating money will be taken. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Town of Poughkeepsie goes into executive session at 7:22 PM. Thank you, everybody.